guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your favorite Queen Modesty, coming at you like from Lagos, Nigeria. Today guys, we're going to be doing a very fantastic topic. Now if you guys thought I was going to do like a 30 something minute rant and not prefer solutions to the problem, I'm not that kind of person, you feel me? Like, I don't just rant for no apparent reason. I felt like that video needed to be done because it is very important that you guys, for me, I'm a realist, and I feel like this is not the time to be rioting. This is not the time to be burning down places and everything. Like, this is the time to sit down and have a simple reflection of, like, you know what, is it really worth, like, is it worth it? Is America really worth it? Long story short, today we're going to be talking about how to transition to Africa for those who are interested. Okay, I'm not forcing you to do anything. Like I said in my previous video, your acceptance of being an African is, I mean, it really doesn't bother us. If you want to accept it to be an African, if you want to accept Africa, it's fine. But for those who are interested in the possibility of transitioning back to Africa, this video is actually for you. Now, there are three major things you're going to need to do when you want to transition back to Africa. Number one is extensive research. Number two is, depending on how you want to explore Africa, I would say a lot of trips. But if you're somebody who just wants to, like, extensively research and then narrow it down to one place that you want to be in, I would probably say maybe 5 trips of 2 weeks, 5 times in a year, depending on how much money you have to depending on how much money you have to spend. I would probably say maybe 5 trips, 2 weeks, 5 times in 1 year. I think should be enough if you're sticking to just one place. If you want to explore different places, I'll probably say you definitely need more. And that is just for the transition phase, not necessarily for the settling down phase. Okay, so those trips are to come and acquaint yourself with the place, check property, check land, schooling, what else, land, school, houses. And then the third thing is you're going to be saving a whole lot. Now, the beauty of transitioning back to Africa, especially for African Americans or just any African anywhere in the world who was born wherever they are currently and they want to transition back, the beauty about especially if you don't know where you're from in Africa in particular, and because some people are like, where in Africa did I come from? I don't even know where in Africa I came from. The beauty about Africa is you don't need to know where you came from. You can literally just stay anywhere you want to. You will fit in perfectly because we are all black. Okay, it's not like there's some white places in Africa and white areas in Africa, and there's nothing like that. Like, we are all black in Africa, so you can fit into any African country that you so please. So basically, that is what so basically that's an advantage of being an African American. What I'm saying, you can decide where in Africa you want to move to because we're all black here. What I'm saying. And another advantage that you guys have is Western money is it holds a lot of value in Africa. What I'm saying. Like, there's some of you guys, if you convert your savings right now, you could probably be millionaires in Nigeria. Like, if you convert your savings. What I'm saying? If you I don't know how many people are into saving culture, but if you're into saving culture and you convert your savings, you'll probably be like a millionaire in Nigeria. For some of you, and obviously not everybody, but for some of you guys, you'll probably be millionaires in Nigeria. So that's exactly what I mean by Western money has a lot of value in Africa. So those are two big advantages you guys have. Number one, you can move to any African country you so please, and you can identify with any African country you so feel like it. It's just you guys, if you want to say, oh, I don't know where in Africa I came from, you can fit into anywhere in Africa that you please. So don't worry about where in Africa you came from. Just make an effort to know your Africa. That's what's important right now. What I'm saying? And for those who are actually considering the possibility of transitioning back to Africa, even if it's not permanently, maybe just for instance, instances where you're not just sure of what's going on in wherever you are, France, Italy, wherever you are, and you just need somewhere to be a safe haven to say, you can just take a trip back to Africa. Like I said about the Nigerians who left Nigeria and went to America, what I'm saying? And coronavirus was like, hey, how you doing? Y'all good? And they were like, no, we're going back to Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ran back because when they saw, like, it was getting worse, you know what I'm saying, in the West, they were like, yo, I'm not about to die because I'm trying to build something in a white man's land. That's not happening, so they just like hopped on the next flight and they came back to Nigeria, you know what I'm saying. I'm sure that's like what other, people from other African countries did as well. So just to have that, like I said, have an out, just to have an out for when there's uncertainty. Obviously, there's uncertainty everywhere. You feel me? But like I said, in Africa, if you know how to move, you're good. In America, even if you know how to move, we both know they can come and live for you in your house. You feel me? A white woman can just decide, you know what? I feel like putting the black people in trouble. She can call and just like the, Amy Cooper and the dog situation. She can just decide to call and be like, you know what? I'm gonna just, show these black people whose land this is. Like, you don't need that kind of energy in your life, to be very honest, quite frankly. Like, you really don't. You feel me? So just, if you just feel like something's just not right, something's just not easy, you know what I mean? Like, instead of running from one place to the other, you know what I mean? Because like, it's everywhere in America, you know what I'm saying? So basically, like, you can just like, take your family, come to Africa, chill, you know what I'm saying? So this is why I actually made this video. So for those who are interested in actually getting to know Africa and getting to, you know what I'm saying, like, look at the possibility of actually moving back. Those are the people that actually made this video for. So how to transition back into Africa. Number one is a lot extensive research. Now, what are you researching? You're researching things that are important to you. So what is important to you? Safety. What is important to you? Schooling. What is important to you? Starting a business. So let's say, for instance, maybe you have like a food business that you want to transition into Africa. So basically, after you've done your like extensive research, you found like a country, you found a state, you found a neighborhood that you would like to move to within that country. You can now like look around for like a competition. How does food business thrive in that community and everything? Who are your competitors and stuff like that. And then check around if maybe let's say you are maybe in America, you probably used to do maybe Jamaican food. You can see, in that neighborhood that you have, how do I put it? You have narrowed your search down to, you cannot check out that neighborhood and then Jamaican restaurants there, you know what I'm saying? So like see how maybe you can create a niche for yourself or something like that. But there are three major businesses that like thrive literally like anywhere in the world. Number one is food, number two is transportation, and number three is clothing. People would always eat, people would always buy clothes, and people would always move around. So those three businesses would definitely fly in any place in the world. It's not just like in Africa, but in any place in the world. So basically just like figure out like what businesses that you want to do, so also like getting a job, you know what I'm saying? So let's take for instance, maybe you studied engineering, you studied I don't know, accounting, finance, human resources, economics, even for those who study medicine as well. You can actually like figure out like what are the policies of a foreigner working in the said country that you have decided to pitch your tent. So these are things that like you need to like check out as well. And then also even like maybe you studied like programming, web designing, all these things, like you can actually like, that's the beauty about Google. You can actually like figure out like how does this particular business thrive in the place that you have picked to pitch your tent in Africa. So these are things, that's why I said extensive research. That's why extensive research is like literally number one. You have to research extensively before you like make any trips of any kind, so basically just find out like what how your area of expertise, maybe for those who are in like the programming industry, you know what I'm saying, programming, web designing, all these types of things. And then even for the universities, what kind of courses do they offer, you know what I'm saying, in case you may want to like transition before your kids get to university or before they get to high school, you know what I'm saying? So these are things that you definitely need to look out for, in terms of like how to like make a living, and also like getting your kids to also like do the how do I put it, to like do like the cost of their choice, in the university or in secondary school, you know what I'm saying? or high school. We call it secondary school in Nigeria, or high school. So these are things that you definitely need to find out as well. So extensive research on all these things. So when you've done your extensive research, you figure out, like, you've covered things like, is it place safe, the education system around that place, what does it look like, or let's just say the education system of the country in general. What does it look like, what are the advantages, disadvantages of the education system. You figured out everything, all the parameters that tailor to you in particular. Then you can now, so basically what you're going to do is, for instance, now, like for me, transitioning to a different place, like one thing you must have is a shelter. Like, number one, that's why they're called basic amenities. You need to have shelter over your head. So the first thing you are going to work on is your shelter. So either if you want to buy a house, or you want to buy a plot of land and build, that's totally and completely up to you as well. Now, when you are researching as well, you have to research realtors. Okay, you're not just going to come and start looking for realtors yourself here. No, you're not conversant with the territory, so you have to, like, start online. That's the beauty of everybody's business is online. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you Google a business or realtors in Kenya, they will pop up. Top realtors in Kenya, it will pop up. That's the beauty about Google. So you Google, like, the top. You can Google the top realtors, in wherever it is that you want to move to: Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Namibia. Top realtors in just a place. You can call them in. Okay, the beauty, you can call anywhere in the world as you so please. So you can call them in and be like, yo, what's good? I heard you are this, I'm looking for this, this is what I'm looking for. Give them your specifications. Do you want to get a house? And then other things that you can actually invest in. So for instance, if you want to do like real estate, you feel me, you can actually get proper evaluation and proper advice from realtors. So that's why when you're coming here, the first thing you want to sort out is your two things: your feeding and your accommodation. Like, those two cannot be suffering. Like, you cannot play with those two: your feeding and your accommodation. So first thing is your accommodation. You don't want to, obviously you're not going to stay in a hotel for the rest of your life. So, and like I said, you are transitioning, so you can't transition into a hotel. You have to transition into your own house. So you decide for yourself: do you want to buy a piece of land and build your own house, or do you want to buy a ready-made house? Those are things that your realtor can actually, like, the realtor of the place you have narrowed down your extensive search to. Your extensive search is for the country you would like to go to. Then you would further research, what states. Okay, so the parameters you use in searching for the country, you use the same parameters for the states. Okay, now when you have done that, you now use further parameters. So let's say, for instance, you want to come to Nigeria, you check your parameters: security, what else? Security, education, all these things. You've checked all those important things: security, education, feeding, blah 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 blah. Electricity, citizenship. Yes, that's another very important thing. Citizenship. So you're going to check out, like, the immigration situation, citizenship situation. Acquire, what does it take to acquire property or a piece of land, for people who are not citizens of that particular country. You know what I'm saying? So how long does it take to acquire citizenship as well? How can you acquire citizenship as well? So these are things that you can, that's why I said extensive research. After you have extensively researched, your first trip is after you have extensively researched, you have narrowed it down to, I don't know if you want to do 5 countries or you want to just stick to 1 country to save you cost. That would also save you cost. But if you want to do 5 countries, you really want to weigh your options, it's perfectly fine. But if you narrow it down to 5 countries, then obviously you will have to do maybe a country a year or something like that. So you really, your decision is well and properly informed. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, if you're a Christian, even better, you can just pray, Lord, lead me on where to go. God is always ready to lead us to happiness, always. So so you can always pray for the leading of the Spirit of God as well. And also, if you narrow it down to one particular place that you want to be in, your first trip like I said, you're going to make a lot of calls. Your extensive research is going to include a lot of calls. You're going to make a lot of calls, like, you know, when you, like I said, first, like I said, you want to sort out your shelter. Okay, so you're going to call your realtor. You want to buy a piece of land. Just you know, by that time you would have, you know, like I said, the realtor can obviously probably give you a further breakdown of how to acquire land if you're not a citizen and stuff like that. You feel me? So these are things. Now you have to, during your trips, you have to ensure that you are making connections. Okay, we all know the importance of connections in 2020 and beyond. You feel me? So make sure you are making connections with construction companies, connections with schools, connections with, you know, your realtor, connections with, you know, furniture companies. Just make sure you are making connections. Okay? Connections, every single opportunity you get to get somebody's card, get somebody's phone number, get somebody's website, when you come, make sure you build your connections. That's what's going to help you a lot when you get here. Now, don't forget, we're talking about transition. We're not talking about vacation. Okay, so take that vacation out of your mind. We're talking about transition now. So basically, when you come, your first trip is definitely you're definitely coming to meet your realtor. Now, another thing that you may need, you know, real estate people to help you do is, in like real estate, I think construction companies, real estate people should be able to hook you up with construction companies. Now, if you want to go the route of owning and renting, okay, so let's just say maybe, you know, you started your first phase of transitioning, maybe you found out the parameters, and maybe you want to, maybe you don't even have a personal business that you own or that you want to transition to Africa. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you just want to own a shopping complex. You want to build a shopping complex, just like Akon is building his own city in Senegal. You want to build a shopping complex and rent out shops to different, you know, people within the community or in the place. Heck, you can even rent it out to to people, to your fellow colleagues in your American neighborhood. But also they also have to undergo the same process. Don't forget that. So the whole, just any kind of business you want to do. So your first trip is definitely for shelter purposes, and also if you want to go down the route of building an apartment complex, renting it out, so you can actually start, you know, accumulating wealth, you know, in the country of your choice's currency, you know, to make transitioning even a whole lot easier for you. You can do that. Or if you want to do a shopping complex and you want to rent it out, you have to make sure, you know, you also have to build some kind of trust. You feel me? You have to build some kind of trust. Or if you are still having a little bit of an issue, again, of course, like, I mean, you can't just transition to just trust people who blindly, you know what I'm saying? You can bring somebody from abroad. You also need to know what process that would take if you're going to get somebody who is willing to come to Africa and oversee your you know, your landlord business or your shopping complex business. Great, get that person. Or you can get, if you can get somebody who is, you know, maybe you can go to a, you know, a recruitment agency, you know, and ask them for somebody who you know, tell them you're looking for a landlord or somebody who can, you know, oversee, you know, renting out apartments, renting out, you know, complexes. These are things you're just going to have to research. That's why your extensive research. Before you even take your first trip, you have to do extensive research on where you're going. When you have narrowed things down, then, okay, then you can now take your first trip. Your first trip, like I said, is 2 weeks. So now 2 weeks may be too much, depending on how organized you are. That's the whole point of researching. So when you're taking your trip, you have an organized, you know why you're coming. So your first trip will definitely be to figure out, to see houses, okay? So I would say this is the job of the father. Now some women are mother and father, so I can understand that, you know what I'm saying? And she may not be able to travel, but like I said, you're not going to be traveling for too long. So maybe just like a week or two or a week and a half. So I believe you can keep your kids with like family members in America, you know what I'm saying, while you come over and see, you know, what's going on in Africa. So basically, like I said, your first trip is for shelter purposes, and if you want to buy a piece of land so that you can build either an apartment complex, so you can start renting things out and building your net worth in the African country of your choice, or a shopping complex if you want to, what's it called right now? If you want to rent out shops instead. However, whatever kind of work you want to do, either you want to build a shop or you want to rent a shop. And then another thing you have to also look at is proximity. So when you have narrowed down to the neighborhood that you want, you have to start looking at proximity. What are the best schools within your area? Best schools for kindergarten, best schools for high school, best schools for university. You know what I'm saying? So this is that's what I'm saying about extensive research. You have to research all these things and narrow things down. Taking down phone numbers if you can call them from America, because there are a lot of numbers. When you open Google, when you Google, obviously you can see numbers there that you can call. So if you call them, you found out anything. When you come, that's what you're coming to do. You're coming to see with your naked eye. So your realtor is going to take you around to show you different properties, the one that you fall in love with. They're going to show you different lands, the ones that you would like to use. You know what I'm saying? All these things, and then whatever process that you need to do or you need to start in order to transition. So for instance, if there's like a citizenship thing, or if you want to buy a house and you're not a citizen, what's the process? Every country will have its own process. So what's the process to buy a house if you're not a citizen of the country? Look at that process. When you're coming, you are coming to, first of all, even look for the perfect place first. You have to see the place that you want before you can now start like the process and everything. So these are things that you need to do if you want to transition to Africa. And the next step is, like I said, trips. So that's what we're on right now. So you have to take your trips, but that would be after your event. So you don't just waste your money just traveling aimlessly. You have to organize yourself. You know what I'm saying? You research all the countries in Africa that the one that's best for you. If you want to narrow it down to 5 countries, or you want to narrow it down to just one country, that would depend on you. Now, I'm sure you're like, why aren't you giving recommendations? I'm not going to recommend, because like I said before, you are all black. You can live anywhere in Africa you please. That's the beauty of you not even knowing where in Africa you came from. That's actually the beauty of it. You can transition to any African country you please. We are all black here. You feel me? So you are the one that's going to choose for yourself. You're going to research. You know what I'm saying? You're going to sit down and extensively research on where in Africa would be best for you and your family to transition to, or to take a hike, or to take a duck. If Americans or Westerners decide we are tired of black people, we finna slaughter them all, well, you can just pack your family and duck into Africa. Like, not on my watch. You feel me? So like I said, this video is basically for those who want to have an out. Okay, if you are interested in having an out, if you are interested in having a place to go to, you know what I'm saying, or even you want to just transition back to Africa because you are just tired of all this, discrimination and racism and everything like that, this video is for you. So basically, the third thing you're going to do is massive savings. Now obviously, they're going to be building for those who want to build. Okay, for those who want to build, they're going to be doing a lot of building. Now, depending on the neighborhood you want to move into, you know what I'm saying, you may need a lot of money to buy a house in that particular neighborhood. Okay, just like in every place in the world, there, every country, every state has a place where the rich live, the middle class live, and then we have, those who are still, on their way to the top. So there are, every place in the world, okay, has those 3 classes. So basically, another reason why you would be, coming in is to gather your overall cost. That would now be able to tell you what your target savings is for. Okay, so what your target savings, in American currency would be. So you're coming in to find out the price of your house, the price of a piece of land, or price of piece of land, price of construction, price of all these things. And then if you want to acquire a firearm, what is the movement like, what is the, you know, what are the policies and stuff like that. And then also, what else? Yeah, so another thing you can actually do if you don't want to, you know, step out on your own, is you can actually go for gated communities. So communities that are gated communities, those also like estates. Okay, so estates, those also would not be bad as well. You know, if you want to feel a little bit more safe, you know, with just like estates, so big estates with a lot of people. You know, so you have, you know, it's not like you're alone or something, and then there's like a central security system right from the gates. So you could also do that as well if you so please. So these are things that you can take into consideration if you want to move to Africa. And you know, when you come, so the first time you're coming to see, you're coming to check out things. Okay, so you're coming to check out, you know, the houses. You're coming to check out schools. You're coming to check out, you know, proximity, so just social life, parks for your kids, you know, if I don't know if you guys, you know, parks for your kids, supermarkets, you know, church for those of you who are Christians, church. All these things are things that you will come and check out first. Now when you come, it's important that you make videos. So you can either come with like a whole camera, or you can come with a phone that has a good camera, so you can take pictures, and you can, when you get back home, you can show your family members, even like your friends over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, so when I went to this place, like, this is what I saw, this. You know, you're going to be going to the schools that are around your area as well, going to the schools, seeing what the school environmental system is all about, what are the facilities that the school offers. Do they have sports? Do they have, you know, swimming? Do they have, my secondary school, we had basketball, did we have volleyball? Yeah, we had basketball, we had volleyball, we had track and field, we had different sport, we had swimming, we definitely had swimming, we had tennis in my secondary school that I went to. So it depends on, secondary school is high school in Nigeria, by the way. So it depends on what kind of what amenities you're looking for. We had lunch in the secondary slash high school that I went to in Nigeria. We had lunch. We were given lunch. We had school buses. We also had school buses that transported us to school and back. So these are things that, like, I mean, oh yeah, you know, moving on. I felt like I have to like remind you that I'm in Nigeria, but yeah, but anyways, so basically we had school buses, we had lunch, we had you know, sports as well. So these are basically things. We had other extracurricular things. We had drama, we had cookery club, we had music club, we had dance drama, yeah, we had dance club, we had, what else did we have? It was actually like a really fun high school. So basically, you know, it depends, like I said, you figure out like where it is. So your first trip is to come and see what are the different amenities and stuff like that. Sorry about the noise in the background, okay? Just bear with me. Okay, so basically those are things that you're coming to find out. Your first trip is to take a trip to all this. Now you may not be able to cover all the schools and cover all the houses and stuff like that, so you may be able to come in bits and pieces, and then also figure out, you know, after you have looked at everything, you now start, like, you know, the whole process of, okay, so what papers do I need to transition? So what do I need to do with the government? How do I need to do this? How do I need to do that? Do you need to bring your family? You know what I'm saying? So these are things you begin to find out little by little. And then before you know it, you know what I'm saying, you'll be set up. But obviously it may take you, it definitely wouldn't happen overnight, you know, but the whole point is starting from somewhere. You feel me? Like, it's just like a success story, okay? You don't get to the top abracadabra. For some people it happens like that. You feel me? You feel me? For some people it happens like that, but it's not everybody that it happens like that for. So these are things, you know, it's going to be a process, but this is for those people, like I said, who are willing to take the chance, with Africa, to get to know where they came, get to know their people, get to know their land. Anyways, guys, I do hope this video was really helpful to you guys, and I may have to do a part 2 depending on the comment section and how many questions I get asked. You know what I'm saying? If there are a lot of questions that are asked, and then I may definitely need to step in and make another video. Then the title of this video will change to part 1, and then the next video that I shoot based on your comments and your questions in the comment section of this video down below would be for part 2. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so let me know let's discuss. I'm somebody, I love discussions. Listen, I'm gonna need to learn a few things, a thing or two. I'm open to learning. That's the beauty of being an open-minded person. You know what I'm saying? I'm open to learning, I'm open to growing, I'm open to understanding where you're coming from. You feel me? Those who are interested in transitioning to Africa, well, feel free. We are open-minded, we are ready to accept you guys any day, anytime, and yeah. I look forward to those people who actually do give it a try, because I can promise you, Africa is a beautiful place full of beautiful people who ain't got time. Okay, let me just say something. Of course, every country has bad people. We're not gonna sit here and make it an African thing. Every country has bad people. Every country has police brutality. Every country, see, whatever problems it is, they try to tell you it's peculiar to Africa. Those are lies. Every country has them. Every single. Just because there doesn't make it to the news doesn't mean that exists in those countries. Ours just happens to make it to the news. You feel me? So don't allow people to deceive you or discourage you from getting to know your Africa. Come and know your Africa, okay? And stop slaughtering your children for nothing. To be honest, they are dying for no reason. They are dying for no reason. There's no reason why they're dying. You feel me? So please, give yourself an out. Give your kids an out. Okay? You feel me? I speak, you know, as good English as I can. I've never traveled out of Nigeria. This is somebody who is not, I'm not even a travel person yet. I see how good my English is. I schooled in Nigeria from kindergarten all the way to university. I schooled in Nigeria. Okay, so don't think, you know, there's nothing good that they're just lying to you. They're just lying to you. You need to come and see for yourself. Because the same white man telling you there's nothing good in your Africa is setting up businesses. They got businesses. They live here. Some of them, their children school here. There's a school, and it's called American International School. Okay, American International School. That's where, like, all the white people that live in Nigeria, they send their kids to American International School. There is British International School. So listen. I think there's even like a French school as well. There's French school, like there are different schools, and the white man is coming to live in your Africa freely. Their kids are getting African education freely. Wake up, come and know your Africa. Period. Anyways, gosh, this was quite a hectic 2 videos to shoot. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but the bottom line is just give yourself an out. Give yourself an out. Get to know Africa and give yourself an out. Give your kids an out. Okay? Have an out. Have where you can run to. Like I told you guys, I will continue referring back to the coronavirus situation. Once Nigerians are listen, this thing is becoming so crazy over here. I'm finna just take a flight back because I'm not finna die of coronavirus. You know, white man, that's not gonna happen. And they took their trip and they came back to Nigeria. We opened our borders for them to come straight in. So just have an out. Even if you don't want to leave America immediately, or you even want to maybe move your family and still be working, you know, in America to gather funds, you know, to make your transition even a whole lot easier. Because like I told you guys, Western money holds a lot of value in Africa. You can do that. You feel me? But I'm not saying, ooh, leave Africa, you know, give up on America. Quite frankly, if you want to, you should, because you already have a land. It's called Africa. So you don't need to be in America, quite frankly, except God is leading, except God has something there for you, and God has told you, I need you here for this and this and this reason. You don't need to be in America, to be very honest. So it depends on you. Anyways, guys, see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel. What am I missing? Share the video if it was useful, if it was helpful. And yes, I will see you guys in my next video. Love you guys. Bye.